Hello everyone, welcome to Sparkling Diamonds with Brittany and Robin. I am Brittany.
And I'm Robin, hey.
She's sitting over here with us. So we are here with the next in our series of Artist Spotlights. And so this is, you can see we got two different boxes here. This one is obviously from Art and Soul. You can't get it from Art and Soul anymore. And then we do have one here from the one with the diamond art. So we'll be, while we're going through the answers to all her questions, we'll be unboxing both of these. And so these are from Cheryl Carpenter. This one's called Stronger Than You Know. It's just a pretty image. It's an affirmation. It's got a pretty butterfly in the back. And then the other one is going to be called Red Bloom. And I don't have like a thumbnail of it to show you right now. So, I will start slowly opening this. I don't know if it's, I think it's probably still in the plastic and stuff. It is. But I'll let Robin go ahead and start with the first of her questions. So we, well, I guess before we get started, I should say, welcome. If you guys are new here, welcome in. We are a mother-daughter duo who enjoy everything diamond painting. So you'll see some unboxings. You'll see what we're getting ready to do, which is an artist spotlight, where we ask an artist a bunch of questions and you kind of get to know them. Some enhancement videos. We have some comparison videos. Just a little bit of variety of stuff, everything diamond painting. So if that sounds like something you'd like, definitely hit the subscribe button down below so you'll be notified anytime we get new videos. And if you guys are returning, welcome back.
And thank you, Cheryl, for taking the time to answer all of these questions for us and giving us the opportunity to get to know you better.
Yes. So I'm going to try to quietly pull this canvas out here while Robin starts on the first question that she answered for us.
So the first question was, tell us about your experiences that inspired you to pursue a career in art. And Cheryl says that during the pandemic in the UK, if you had a vulnerable health condition, she did, severe asthma, you had to shield, so she was housebound for nearly 3 months. And editing pictures of the kids turned into men doing digital art. She struggled with anxiety and depression due to health, the loss of her daughter, and etc. And found that art gave me an outlet for what I was feeling, which is why so many of my pieces have meaning. Well, to me at least, she writes.
I know, and I don't know if you guys watched when we were doing the Art and Soul roundups, but that was like one of the fun things that we kind of did as we were doing the Art and Soul roundups, is it kind of like would be a thing of like us trying to interpret like what her pieces mean. And then sometimes she would, towards the end, it started, every time she had a release, she would try to share with us if there was a story behind it. And so that was one of the coolest things, is just getting to know like pieces of her artwork and the meaning behind them. So
yes, and they usually were pretty deep meanings behind them.
Very deep meanings to quite a few of them, actually.
And the second question then is, art your full-time career? And Cheryl says, no, I work in a school during the day as a supervisor and tutor. I do art clubs for children in the school, so it kind of loops together. I would love to be an artist full-time, but with the creation of AI, my income, especially from the diamond art world, has veered off. People seem more drawn to AI pictures more than anything else. And for me, it's not sustainable financially to do a full-time job. That's a really sad answer, but that is one of the reasons that Brittany and I do not support AI art.
Yeah, to make sure that you are supporting a real person who is, and you know, I do know that real people are creating the AI art pieces, but these people, like especially like Cheryl and anybody else we've done an artist spotlight on, they actually either hand draw their pieces or they will digitally draw their pieces, and it is 100% done by them instead of just like putting words into something and essentially having like an AI robot create an image for you, I guess is the best way to explain it.
So you'll never see us pushing AI art on our channel.
No.
And then, but while Brittany's finishing that, I'll go ahead with the third question. How did you learn about diamond painting, and do you diamond paint? She said that she was in a photo edit group where she used to change people's selfies into horror pictures. And a lady in that group was a diamond painter and asked if I had anything non-horror she could do as a custom. This led to her recommending my art to the community and consequently led to companies asking to license me. I have done bits of diamond art, but unfortunately I suffer with a bad back and the limits of how much I can sit at the table. I've done a spares project when I painted a Barbie in black and dyed her hair bright pink and then put ABs all over her. That was cool. I also do little diamond art projects with my art clubs, mini stickers, key rings, etc. As it would be manic for 30 kids to each have a full kit. Laugh out loud. Even with a little project, drills end up everywhere, which I am sure.
Ooh, all right.
So let's start showing you this beautiful piece of art, which is not available from obviously with Art and Souls in the company anymore, but I'm hoping that eventually
yes, a lot of these pieces that she had with Art and Soul will be re-licensed elsewhere.
Yes.
So you do have an inventory sheet and a sticker sheet here. In these videos, we don't tend to go in depth, and the toolkit was also pulled out of this when we opened it previously. So if you want to see more information about like the inventory sheet and the sticker sheet, definitely check out one of our unboxings from any of the other previous canvases, because we don't go into a whole lot of depth of it, especially if you're new and you're curious what this is. But, so this is, again, called Stronger Than You Know. It's a round drill. It is 50 by 50 centimeters. And actually, Robin got it as a round crystal canvas. So this is Robin's canvas here with 5 soul dust drills.
And 23 colors.
So this is going to be a fun one to look at all the drills on, because I always love all the crystals. But look at you got 3 big bags of that pretty purple soul dust.
So pretty.
Let's actually look at the drills for you. We'll look at the drills real quick, and then we'll look at the canvas after Robin does another question or two here. So first you have obviously your soul dust drills, and there are 5 of them. So you have a pretty like navy blue, and so their soul dust is like, it's got mica powder or glitter in the top of the drills. And sometimes these don't do the best job of showing on the camera. I don't know how well you can see it there, but you see the bottoms look kind of similar, but the tops look like they have a shimmer on the top. So you have blue, you have like a pinkish purple, and you do have a dark purple. 3 bags of this pretty light purple.
I love that purple.
And then like a regular, we'll call this medium shade purple. So you've got all of those.
Every shade of purple you could think of.
Yes, that sounds like exactly your kit. You love purple. All right, so let's take a look at some of these crystals here. Whoop, as I drop them all. Just trying to keep them halfway organized. Okay, so first you do have a purple. So this is 153. This is like a purplish pink. They're so shiny. So you have that. You do have, this is a very pretty purple. This is number 3. I skipped number 2. So this is 155. And then, where's number 2 at in this? Number 2 is like a red. It's like 154. Then you have a pretty blue, 158. Oh, look at that purple. That looks like your kind of purple. That's 208. Violet? Would you call that like a violet color?
Oh, that's pretty. I'm not sure.
That's 333. This is like a dull, like pink shade. I know some of these aren't going to come through very well. So this is 340. That looks like a blue.
Got this canvas out to do because it's a lot of color blocking. It won't take long, but I'm not starting any new canvases right now until I can finish them.
So you've got like a gray, a pink, some blues. You do have, this looks like a, 939. So there is no actual 310 in here. You do have 3 big bags of this. What shade is this? 3747. So this looks like a very, very pale purple shade. So you have 3 bags of that, actually 4 bags of that, excuse me.
Wow.
Then you have another pink, another shade of purple, and then like a pinkish red, a peach, and then like another, I don't know if you'd call that purple either. If it'll focus. There we go. So this one will be a gorgeous one. I hate that I have not found another good place to get all crystal canvases from. Not the way that Art and Soul did it, which is kind of a bummer because I loved their crystal canvases. So I like that well, at least that you still have one or two that are handy that you can do to see the pretty crystals on. So.
And this is a nice one to do crystals because it's the wording.
So I bet this one would be gorgeous when you get to do it.
So what is the first drawing that was turned into diamond painting? So Cheryl, there's a picture right here that we've got on the screen that Cheryl sent to us. It was right at the beginning of her exploration of digital art, and so different from what she does now, she says. It's the custom the lady wanted of a girl, and it is absolutely beautiful.
It really is. I love the colors in it.
And then she also sent her second one that was done because she says that's where she kind of started her journey in with her own style, which is a bit more horror based. And so you can see the second piece as well. And so number 5, is there a particular drawing that you've created that holds deep personal significance for you? And how does it feel to see it transformed into a diamond painting if it has been? And Cheryl said on Art and Soul, I really love silence. So we actually did, I remember us talking a lot about silence.
Yeah, I'll find the picture and pop it up here because we have it from our Art and Soul Roundup. So I'll pop that picture of silence up here for you guys to look at.
And I actually agreed. That was one on my wish list, and sadly you can't get it anymore. But it says, I really feel it can speak to so many people, and I do agree about that piece.
Yeah.
There is a misconception that my art is dark, but generally it's based on mental health issues, which I kind of picked up in doing the Art and Soul Roundup. Her art is it has so many different meanings.
I think that's why you love her art so much.
Mm-hmm. And then she goes on to say, silence is about pretending you're okay on the outside, but struggling inside, and the inside not letting you get it out and silencing you. And another picture I have is called Don't Look Back. It's not licensed to another company, but it was the first piece I did that connected with someone, and then we became friends through it. It's a story about suffering, but being a survivor and not looking back. I'd love to see that one.
I'll see if I can find some of these, or if not, I'll get with her and see if she can't send me pictures of them, at least to share with you guys too.
And then there's also 3 separate pictures on Art and Soul that go together that are called Anger, Greed, and Jealousy, and we'll pop those pictures up. I don't think anyone has been brave enough to attempt them yet, as they would be confetti heavy. But if you were to get these 3 and hang them somewhere, maybe the stairs, so each time that you pass them, it's a reminder that you should be calm, kind, and humble. In hindsight, I should have named them Stay Calm, Be Kind, and Stay Humble for people to see where they came from in my head, laugh out loud. And that's actually, again, that's how art is represented by so many people. You never know, like, what an artist is thinking when they're drawing. But anger, greed, and jealousy.
I know what she said she should have called them. Be calm, be kind.
Be calm, kind, and humble, which I think they give you it on that, not mine. Like, those are such different titles.
They really are.
Yeah, and I also, I would love to see the Don't Look Back. She says it's not licensed, so I'm hoping we can find that.
Yeah, we'll hopefully have pictures of all these, especially the ones that were licensed with Art and Soul. You can no longer get on their website, but hopefully looking back through some of their social media or archives of some things I have, or her website too, which we'll talk about. Hopefully you'll see it. So. All right, here is a look at the pretty butterfly. So this is the Stronger Than You Know. I'm going to hold it here a little bit just so there's not a glare.
And that is a pretty simple workup because it's got a lot of color blocking.
Yeah, so this was a computer rendered one, but as you can see when we get close here, you can see there is a lot of, like, there are some places where there's a little bit of confetti, but the background is a lot of color blocking. So this is going to be very pretty, especially as a crystal. So I'm curious to know, like, okay, so the 3 bags of purple is going to be the butterfly. So the butterfly itself is not really going to be crystal. It's going to be all that fairy dust, which will make it stand out. But then also some of the flowers, too.
And this is one I plan on framing, too.
So this will be absolutely gorgeous.
So the next question we asked Cheryl is, how has your artist style evolved over the years, and are there any themes you find yourself returning to? And she said that when she started her art style, it was more a release of whatever I was dealing with mentally. So my art has a lot of detail, as you can see on the second picture I sent you, and you definitely can. That picture has a lot going on. Actually, the man who wanted that piece prefers the more in-depth pictures, whereas most people need the reasoning clear and precise. So that's interesting. As I found more peace, I found myself doing more awareness pieces and chaotic pieces. She says that she does enjoy doing a lot of fairies or winged people, purely because they evoke a sense of freedom about them. So no matter what's going on around them, there's always a freedom there to find. And she also enjoys drawing with her son, teaching him how to draw things, and then tidying up my drawings using digital tools.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
That's very neat.
A nice family hobby.
And I love that she likes fairies and winged people.
She has a pretty one. I'll pop the photo up here. I think it's actually licensed with the one with the diamond art now, which we'll talk about again here in just a little bit. But it was one that was on my wish list, and I so regret not getting it because it is such a pretty one. And it's got lots of blues, as you can kind of guess. But she's also got the fairy wings, and that's just the one it makes me think of.
Yes, actually.
She's so pretty.
That looks very familiar. I guess I remember it from the Art and Soul Roundup.
So, and it was called Athena was her name, and that one's pretty. I'll pop the photo up here for you guys to see. That's the fairy one I think of. So I'm going to put this one up, and we're going to go ahead and pull out the one we have from the one with the diamond art here.
Which is available, and you can purchase.
Yes.
So we asked her what was the most challenging piece that she ever created. I didn't name it, but we're going to put a picture up of it above. You'll see it right here. It was a skeleton lady, I guess, but it took lots of intricate images to complete and over 2 weeks to finish.
Ooh.
She actually used herself as a basis for it. And she also loved to make culture pieces, especially of black ladies, as they are just gorgeous. However, as a white lady, it's always a challenge to make sure I'm not being offensive. I was asked to do a Jewish piece, but essentially I had not researched enough, and although some people liked the image, many said it was representing more authoritarian aspects of the Jewish community. So although I love to explore different cultures, it's always a challenge to make sure I'm not being offensive, and that I could definitely understand.
I feel like that's probably the case with a lot of things, because you just never know, like, different, especially like you talk about just religion or cultures and things like that. You just never know what people, if you're not part of that culture or religion or whatever it might be, how they'll react to certain things. So.
Or even be careful with how you describe some images, because it can be offensive to someone. You don't mean for it to be offensive at all.
Correct.
But again, that I think the knowledge is the key there, and educating one another kindly instead of being cruel to one another if you do say something incorrectly. And the next thing we asked Cheryl is, has she ever expanded her art into other mediums like calendars, coloring books, etc.? And if so, let us know where we can get them, or a link to them, and how do you see your work evolving in the future? In the USA, she's licensed under her name. But in the UK, because I work in a school and my pieces are darker, I have to license myself as the Magic of Time. Interesting.
It really is.
You may see that name pop up when Art and Soul share my artwork. Of course, this was done when Art and Soul was still around. I also have a website, and I'm on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok as the Magic of Time. And sometimes my artwork gets accused of being AI, and you can find videos of some of my process on my social media, including me turning my doodles into digital. I do not see any of her art being confused with AI in my mind, but that's just my mind.
Yeah, no.
And she goes on to say the technique I use is composite art or manipulation art, as it's the use of using photos and creating art for them. All photos I purchased from photographers. You can also see my acrylic artwork on my page. I think I see it less dark. Last year I joined a Christian course, Alpha course, and it changed my life. My art is not as dark as it once was, and I can only see it getting less dark as my path through faith journeys on.
I could see, like, looking at her photos, like, if you were to go through any of her, so she doesn't have a huge catalog of art anywhere anymore, and we'll also, by the way, link all of her social media stuff down below, so definitely go follow her, because you'll get to see all her artwork. But I could see how people would, like, think her art is dark, but, like, just from knowing the pieces that we've done and she's given us the meaning behind, while the image may look dark, the meaning behind it is not. It usually is something to do either with a personal experience or something mental health related, and is very deep as far as meaning wise. So
and are there, the next question was, have you ever seen a diamond painting of your work that added a new layer or interpretation to your original piece, and how did that make you feel? And she said that she loves to watch YouTube videos where people try to work out the meaning of my artwork. I bet she loved mine and Brittany's.
No.
Oh my goodness. I think great art in some aspects is the art that speaks to you. I do agree with that. And she goes on to say, actually, a lady told me outright she didn't like or understand my art, as it was too dark. Wow. As I explained silence to her, she got emotional. Because once I explained why I'd done it and what it meant to me, she realized how much it connected to how she was feeling. In lots of my dark pieces, there is always a reason behind it, and I always hope that people will find their own stories in the artwork, something that connects with them and makes them realize they are not alone. In some ways, I like to see how people analyze my work, because it makes me realize why I have done what I've done. Wow.
I always loved, that was probably one of the funnest things, was trying to figure out what her pieces meant, because we always knew, hardly ever, there may have been like one time where you could get like the meaning of the image, and I think it was like a Wizard of Oz one or something like that. What was it? Do you remember that one piece? We were doing the artist spotlight of, and I talked about it, and then I was like, read the title again, and I was like, or the roundup. But for the most part, you have to actually like look at the image and figure it out. So this one is a little different. This is not a self-portrait of hers. This is just a pretty flower. So this is actually called Red Bloom. And again, this is from the one with the diamond art. This is 60 by 60. This is going to have 38 colors with 4 ABs in it. Robin got this in square. I'm pretty sure you have the option of choosing like some sizes as well as round or square drills. But here is a look at the drills. We won't take this one out. You do have an inventory sheet with this one. So this will be pretty. We'll flip this one over in a minute. I think we'll let Robin do another question too, so we get closer to the end.
I'm going to let you go ahead and do number 10.
Okay. All right. Are there specific cultures or historical art movements that influence your work? How do you incorporate these into your paintings? So she loves Salvador Dali and Frida Kahlo. So Dali she loves because she likes to analyze art a lot and loves trying to work out how his work speaks to me. Now Frida she thinks she loves because of her life story. A lot of her artwork features herself, and a lot of my artwork uses my own face as a base layer. A few I can remember off the top of my head are Hermione, Haiti, Red, Silenced, Alice, and Zen, and they were all available on Art and Soul. I'll try to find as many of these pictures as I can and like pop them up here for you to look through. But then she did say, I pretty much love all art, to be honest. Much the same as music, I love most genres. All right, so how many more questions we have? I think we have 4 or 5. So we're actually going to take a look at this canvas real quick, and then we'll go through the rest of the questions. All right, so let's look at Red Bloom here, this pretty flower.
That is absolutely gorgeous.
This is definitely a you thing. You just love flowers in general, and this is just
But
so
it is so funny that we're talking about how dark her artwork is, and that is like the furthest thing from dark artwork I've ever
It is. It's so bright and pretty. What kind? Is this a poppy?
That's what I think. I think so. I could be wrong about that flower, though. I mean, because that's what I think of a poppy, but correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you think otherwise, please let me know.
We all know I am not the expert in flowers, so
I
I'm
think
definitely not.
so, but I could be so wrong.
And so this one is also, I believe, computer rendered, but it is actually lots of like color blocking. You can see like down here some blending of like one color into another to make it flow better, and that kind of thing. But this is gorgeous.
I think it's so pretty.
All right. Next question we asked her: are there any songs, movies, or television shows that influence your work? So she said, not really. I'm not a big telly person. I watch The Big Bang Theory on repeat, anything Jane Austen, and Love Island, but that's it. Not really a cultural experience on telly, I'm afraid. I don't think you can find many references to those in my artwork. I do have a Regency one, actually, but it's not licensed. And then she said, going through her work on Art and Soul, she did have some things inspired by, some art that's inspired by things. So she had a piece, and again, guys, as I'm going through these, I'll see if I can't find images to pop up here of them. Again, they were all on Art and Soul. They all may be on her website, but I'll look. So she had something called There's No Place Like Home, which was a Wizard of Oz piece. Stephanie, which I remember seeing, which was Gwen Stefani. I think Dolly, I remember seeing too, was Dolly Parton. Frenchie, which is from Greece. I bet you like that one.
I know.
Abigail, which is Regency themed. Rihanna the singer. Juliet from Romeo and Juliet. Goodnight Sweetheart, which is also Regency themed. Shakira the singer. Kate Bush. Cher the singer. Amy Winehouse.
I don't remember a lot of these.
I don't either. I looked through her. I had looked through her whole collection. I don't know if maybe I just didn't put it together with what was what, but I don't know. All right. Beyond painting, do you have other hobbies or creative outlets that inspire your art? So she's a total bookworm and reads every night.
I love that.
A huge Jane Austen and Charles Dickens fan. So my books are based on their era. I love a good Regency romance. Bridgerton I could binge watch. I work in a school during the day doing art stuff, and then I have 3 kids to chauffeur around to their various activities. I would say my 3 passions, aside from my children, are art, books, and music. I love singing. I can't sing to save my life, but I'd love to hear you sing.
I know, right? And 3 kids, wow. I bet you are busy.
All right, so I'll do 13, and then actually a couple of these questions we've asked, and they were kind of answered in other questions, like what were her favorite artists and how did they influence her own work, which we answered when we talked about Salvador Dali and Frida Kahlo. And then talking about reading, watching, or television, or listening to in terms of music, we just kind of talked about what she likes to watch and read. All right, so when people see your work, either as a painting or a diamond painting, what emotions or thoughts do you hope to evoke in them? In her dark pieces, she says she hopes to remind them that through it all, they are not alone. That's very cool.
And I actually agree with that.
Lots of my pieces depict a cheery outside while crumbling inside. Again, it's not only a reminder that you're not on your own, but it's a reminder to people not suffering that just because a person seems okay on the outside, they might not be on the inside.
It reminds me of something I tell my patients. All of us wear 2 masks. Something that you show to the real world, and then something that you have on the inside. Like everybody wears 2 masks. What you want the world to see, and then what you keep on the inside.
It's definitely a good reminder of, especially with everything going on in the world, to just be kind to everybody, because you never know what they're going through versus what you're going through. And she actually says, in the world we live in with diseases, wars, economy, and financial issues, feeling like this is more common, which is very true. So sometimes it's hard for people to say out loud why they're feeling the way they are. Sometimes people don't know why they're feeling the way they are. They just know they feel down. I hope by finding one of my pieces that it speaks to you, that as you're dotting your drills, everything you're feeling gets out on that canvas. Let my artwork and your feelings and thoughts meld together and come out connected on the canvas. Use my artwork and the kits as an outlet, if that makes sense. Which it does.
Yes.
Because you get a piece that connects to you and the meaning of it, whether it's what she intended it to be or it's just how you interpret it, and just let that kind of take your emotions out of it. So the last thing, she didn't put anything here, but we're going to kind of talk a little bit about it. So anything that she wanted to tell us that we did not ask about. So we've also already mentioned she's no longer with Art and Soul because Art and Soul has closed. But with that being said, you can obviously get some of her pieces from the one with the diamond art. They are ready now. She also has 3 pieces that have already been licensed with Enablers Outpost, which you can purchase, including an adorable cat and puppy dog, which will pop up here side by side. The other one is an 18+ image, so we're not going to share that one here with you guys. She has licensed release paper with Crafts with Crashly also that you can go and purchase now. Her website where you can go and purchase any of her stuff. I believe she might also be licensed with PM Diamond Painting. I'll verify that, and if she is, I'll add the link for that down below. Because I know that in Pam's information, there's a couple, because like with Cheryl, so you can buy her images for use and like create your own custom pieces. And so like I did see that Pam did that with a couple of pieces, but it also looked like she did sign with Pam to release a few of her images. So I'll verify that, and so I'll put it down below for you guys. So lots of places to still go support her, including her own website, which might not necessarily be diamond painting, but be lots of other fun things. So, all right, guys, real quick, I almost forgot we had this beautiful piece to share with you. So this is another Art and Soul piece. This is called Beyond the Ember. Again, stunning piece here. So first, I'm gonna read you guys the meaning behind this piece, which is part of the reason that we got this. Now, I will tell you, while you cannot get this at Art and Soul, you can get this image from the one with the diamond art, okay? So if this is something you like, or you like the meaning behind it, definitely go check out the one with the diamond art. I love the butterfly in this. So this is when we did the Art and Soul roundup and ordered, and we were waiting on it to come in to do the artist spotlight. I almost forgot it. We had it. So here is what Cheryl said about this piece that's kind of like her interpretation behind this. Again, this is called Beyond the Ember. So here's her explanation of this piece. Sometimes people are underestimated. A janitor, for example, may have a degree in science, or a chef might be a phenomenal dancer. We only see what people let us see. Beyond the Ember is about looking deeper into people and seeing the real you. We don't always know what people are going through or have gone through. This lady has suffered immense grief and mental torture, but people just see the face she protrudes to the world. There are graves on the left under the eye. So I think it would be over here. Let's see if you can see it a little better in the image here. Hold on. Yeah, you kind of can. I don't know how well he's going to show for you guys, but like right here. To symbolize the grief she has suffered, the body of water conveniently over her lips signifies her drowning with the pressures of life. The pitchfork, which goes all the way up and down the middle here, is a nod to the mental struggles she has. The third eye, so this right here, is in reference to, if possible, to look deeper or to have more sensitivity if noticing if maybe one of your friends has seemed unlike themselves lately. The birds and butterflies. So yeah, the birds are her facing this pretty butterfly. Well, I use butterflies a lot because most of us produce a more happier face than actually what we are facing inside. The beauty of birds and butterflies indicate beauty, but in this case, it's the mask that everything in this lady's life is perfect. I use the silhouette of the birds really because the darkness matches the grief that is stitched to her. My daughter was stillborn, and it's a different kind of grief, one that seeps in you and changes you and consumes part of you. And I remember when we first, if I'm not mistaken, that's actually when this releases when Robin ordered it, because the meaning behind it means so much. And this is one, if I'm not mistaken, this is actually her photo, which you probably saw a comparison of a photo of her and a photo that she's made. She uses her photo as the image. So this has a lot of meaning, so I wanted to add this in here for you guys to be able to see. And again, so this is obviously the one from the Art and Soul. You can get Beyond the Ember at the one with the diamond art, so just check out the link down below so you guys can grab that piece. So Cheryl, again, I know Robin said this at the beginning, but definitely thank you so much for taking the time to answer those questions. I know it's never a quick, easy thing to do, and you share a lot of information with us, and we greatly appreciate it.
And Brittany and I have always been a fan of your art. We love trying to decipher what it meant, and it was always something different for both of us, most of the time, not always. But that just goes to show as we got, and it always led to discussions.
It was because I don't think, there may have been one or two pieces where we had something similar, but for the most part there was always at least one small detail of it we thought where it was different. So it's definitely always nice to talk about your art, because it does have so many different things in it that could have so many different meanings to so many different people, so it's always a good conversation.
And it reminds me of what she says about silence, and the lady didn't like it, and then she explained it, and the lady started crying. It reminds me of her beginning to send us descriptions of what her art was like, and as I read the descriptions, it made me like the piece of art more.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's interesting, like, do you have to know the meaning of the art to like the picture? That's an interesting question, something to think about.
And see, I don't think you would. Like I said, whenever she was talking about how she, using the art as your diamond painting to kind of like release your emotions and feelings. Mm-hmm. I think if you look at an image and it means something to you, whether that's what the artist meant or not, that's one of the good things about it, is we can all have our own interpretation of it. And if it means something to you, then that's what it means to you, even if it's not necessarily what she intended when she drew it. So, and
silence is a very powerful image. We'll definitely put that up.
Yeah, definitely.
But thank you, Cheryl. We're so appreciative, and we love your artwork. And as you can see, we are fans, and we'll continue to support you. So please let us know what your favorite piece of Cheryl's artwork is down below. And does it make you, when you're now thinking back about what we would say dark art, when you hear her explanation, does it make you view dark art differently? Because it certainly did. She definitely opened my eyes to art.
Definitely. I would say, like, I would say before we started doing the Art and Soul Roundup and I saw her pieces, I don't think I would have been like, I don't think there would have been any that I necessarily liked, because I did think they were dark art. And then as we started doing the roundup and talking more about the meaning, and she started providing her meaning of them, it did bring a whole new meaning to me and made me like her pieces even more. Even though they're not necessarily like the normal kind of art I would do, the meaning behind it meant something.
I found a lot of them I relate to people with trauma, and that to me was pretty powerful, which is a whole nother topic, but that does go to show, especially silenced. That could be relate to so many things. But thank you guys so much for listening. I hope you enjoy this. We have more artist spotlights coming up. We love you, Cheryl. Thank you for doing this again. Guys, don't forget to be kind to everybody, both in the real world, in social media, and in the comments section. And we can't thank you enough for supporting us. We love you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye, guys.